by Joey Hauser. We'll take questions for Joey in the chat. First question comes from Chris Solari.
Joey, obviously that you guys had the 2 games in 3 days. Looked like you guys came out a little sluggish. What sparked you guys maybe in the second half, and where did you kind of decide to start bombing away and feel the heat checks there?
I think defensively we had to do a much better job. We were scoring the ball pretty well right away. I think the past 2 games we didn't score as much on assisted baskets. And this game we kind of picked that up. The first 2 games we had scored 60 buckets on 53 assists. So tonight we did a better job with that. But finally kind of extended a lead there. They were hanging around, and we just kept talking to the huddle that we wanted to extend that lead. I think what really picked up, we just started moving the ball better, and we were getting the assisted buckets, which really helped us big time, and stepping up on defensive end.
And that one from the logo, did you know how deep you were when you shot it?
No, I didn't know how deep I was. I just shot it in rhythm. So when you shoot in rhythm, you don't know how deep you are. But there's a couple where I got to get closer to the line. Coach is always talking to me about getting closer to the line. I tend to back up a little bit too far, but I didn't know how deep I was in that one.
Next one comes from Matt Charbonneau.
Joey, in the first few games, it seemed like you were getting a lot of your opportunities to score around the basket a lot more. What was the difference tonight that you were able to kind of get free from the perimeter? Was it more about the way they defended, or was there a change from you? What was it that got you going from that end?
I think just confidence. First couple of games, I missed some outside shots. I wasn't shooting quite as much from the outside. Took me a while to kind of get in game rhythm shooting the ball, and I knew it was going to take a couple of games because I hadn't played in such a long time. But I think huge credit goes to my teammates. They've continuously kept finding me, and they've had faith in me, even though I've missed a couple shots through these first couple of games. But they've had faith in me and told me just to keep shooting. So I think that was a huge part of why I knocked down a couple shots tonight.
Did you feel that coming here the last few days? Did you sense that you're kind of on the verge of something like this?
I knew one of these games I would shoot it pretty well, and I just want to keep shooting it well, keep finding my teammates as well to get them open shots. So I think just confident. I mean, I just felt more confident coming to this game with my shot.
Next, we'll go out to Kyle Austin.
Thanks, Joe. I'm going to ask something similar. Just was there a frustration at all through the first 3 games, how you were shooting, and how did you kind of work through that start from shooting?
Yeah, there was a little frustration, but I had to keep reminding myself just, rely on the things that I've always been doing. My shot prep, I had to kind of look at some things. The coaching staff had been telling me what they meant I saw on my shot. Maybe I was leaning back too much and not getting my feet set. So just listening to them and continue to work on my shot is pretty much what I try to do and have confidence. I think confidence plays a huge part in shooting the ball.
We'll go out to Nick Mantis with WLNS.
Joey, it kind of seems like there's been times where you guys are not necessarily gelling at the beginning of the game, and then towards the end of the first half, you guys go on a run, and then obviously tonight in the second half, you were a big part of what kind of pulled away and gave you guys that big lead. Was there something that said in halftime, or is there another gear you guys hit that gives you the opportunity to kind of get to another gear?
I think where it started was the defensive end. The first half there, we were kind of allowing a couple of easy post entries, letting their big guy who he did a great job tonight getting some easy buckets. So defensively really stepped up, and we were able to get out, rebound, and run, which is something that kind of our motto here is defend, rebound, and run. So that got our offense going, but obviously we got to be ready to play right from the get-go, and that's all of us. That takes all of us. So that's something we want to improve on. It's something we want to, it's not a flip that we can switch on and off. So we want to flip that switch on right away from the get-go.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. We have time for one more for Joey. It comes from Larry Lage with the AP.
Joey, can you look ahead at facing your brother on Wednesday night at Virginia?
What was that?
You're facing your brother on Wednesday night at Virginia. Can you look ahead at that for us?
What was the last part?
Playing your brother this week. Thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
Oh, I mean,
Your
I'm
thoughts
extremely
on that?
excited about it. I knew we had to get past this game. We had a really good opponent tonight that we had to play. So I wasn't looking forward to the Virginia game yet, but now we'll start to study them and prep for them. And, I don't want to make it about me and my brother because we're playing Virginia. We're not going down there to play the Joey Hauser, Sam Hauser game. It's Virginia versus Michigan State. And that's what I want it to be about. So it's going to be a really fun opportunity to see him, though. Hopefully my family is able to attend the game. So it's going to be awesome. Obviously, two really well-respected programs. It doesn't get much better than Michigan State and Virginia. So I think that makes it even better.
All right, Joey, appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, we'll be joined by Coach Izzo here in a second. All right, we're joined by Coach Izzo at this time. Coach, if you'd like to start with an opening statement.
Yeah, a lot of things to feel good about and a lot of things to feel disappointed about. Definitely not very encouraged by our post defense in the first half. So I'll get rid of the negatives because I got a couple excuses for them. But we weren't very sharp in there. They went at us pretty good. I thought the kid Wright played his tail off and did a nice job. I love Artist White. I mean, Rocket did a pretty good job, but it's Benny White's son, and boy, give him credit. Unbelievably nice kid. Doesn't force shots. He was impressive. I thought he had great command of the game, but I thought Lee played pretty hard, missed some shots, and the kid Freeman came in and played good. Cruz came in and played pretty good. That's a pretty good team, but we didn't play very good with our inside guys. And when we got it in there, we're shooting fallaways. We never got to the free throw line. I thought Rocket Watts played outstanding. He had 7 shots in the first half, which led us. And I thought he was so unselfish with the ball. He did a hell of a job to get Hauser involved. I thought Aaron, played pretty well. He just missed some wide open good shots, including a couple layups. And I thought Josh Langford played one of his better games. Only got 5 or 6 shots, got to get more shots. But defensively in that, he threw a couple great passes. We got back to moving the ball better. That was a big bright spot, 28 assists on 32 baskets. And I thought we had some great passes in there. And including Steven getting one at the end, although he had the turnover, so he's probably not going to eat for the next month because he knows how much that ticks me off. But we got a lot of play out of a lot of guys. The second half, Malik Hall played better, but we're not very consistent with our bigs right now other than Joey. And I got to tell you, Joey had a hell of a day. Now, in saying all those things, we just played our 3rd game in, I think, 5 or 6 days. We're going to play 4 in 8 days. 2 of them are going to be on the road against ACC teams. We did not practice at all. We had a walkthrough and a film session, This team can't do that right now. Not practicing. We're not Allen Iverson. We're not that good. And we really need to cover things. And we're still trying to, when you're playing 11 guys, 7 minutes or more, that's still a problem right now. And so I got to live with some of those problems, keep building. But practice would really help, and hopefully we'll get a decent one in tomorrow, but then we're right back on the road. After the Virginia game, it gets back to a little bit of normalcy, and I think that'll really help us. So pleased because I thought second half we played better. Pleased because it was nice to see Hauser and Rocket and even Aaron. And Marcus, when we went into him and he went to the hole, he played pretty well. Gabe Brown didn't play bad. He got some rebounds finally. So I guess there was more positives. I just didn't think we're defending as well. And first time we didn't defend as well from the three. They shot 8%, 6% from the three.
Our first question tonight goes to Graham Couch.
Tom, I wanted to stay with Rocket there for a minute, and he looked to me maybe as patient as he has offensively. He never looked rushed tonight. What did you see from him in that regard?
You know, it's funny, you know, when I listen to people outside and you kind of wonder, you know, can Rocket play here? Can Aaron handle this? Rocket was, God, he was fun to coach right now because I see him getting so much better. I see him getting better. You talk to him about his shot, and he works on it in practice. He's just getting better and better and better. I mean, he couldn't play at the end because his legs were shot. I mean, I could have played him, but if he did, you know, he ends up with, you know, 14 points, and he really wanted, really exciting. He came up to me and said, Coach, I think I got 6 or 7 assists. You know, he sounded like Draymond Green, you know, Coach, you got to play me or I'm going to kill you because I got to get 10 rebounds, you know, and I really enjoyed that. It wasn't, Coach, I need to get 15 points. It was, Coach, I need to get some more assists. And I just thought he was just what you said. He was much under control. He's still pushing the ball. You know, he got beat a few times, which is odd for him, but some of it was in our coverages too. And when you have a walkthrough, and that's the only thing. And, you know, White was so good. I mean, you know, artist that I love the way he played. So he was a load to cover because he was so much more under control than some of the guards we played. And so I think Rocket still did a good job. Aaron did a good job when I put him on him.
All right, our next question comes from Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Tom, not taking anything away from Coach Clayton Bates and TK giving away all those secrets on the bench. At 5-0, is this the time when you worry about some winning fatigue?
Well, you know, I never know because it's a new team. You know, this is what I told Aaron and Foster and Josh. You know, captain's got to take care of this time right now. You know, not easy because not only winning but so many games in so short period of time, and 2 at our. You know, we're going to get home at 4 a.m. this time because we play the late game. But I don't want to take anything away from. Bates, I thought he did a hell of a job. They run their stuff really nice. And I probably will never hire TK because he gave them all of our secrets. But then again, I love TK, you know, and I told our team, he's going to know our stuff as good or better than we know it. And he did a good job, man. I tell you, don't take anything away from them. I mean, I was disappointed in some things, but they did a nice job. So I don't think I'm worried about it, Lindsey. I'm really not because it's not like we're cocky or arrogant. We haven't played good enough. But as you know, psychologically, I'm still battling the, you know, how these kids are mentally. I'm still trying to help them through that. You know, they're going to be a little fatigued. And tomorrow we got to have a decent practice. It might be short, but we got to get through some things, both in the post and maybe on those ball screens. And we'll get better at that. So, worried about it? I'm not worried about it, but I'm concerned because I think we got to get better and better quickly because you know Virginia's going to run that circles, that offense. And, I mean, we played them enough times, and you rest on that, you're in trouble. And they got a lot better shooters than they had last year. So we'll have our work cut out.
Great, thank you.
We'll go out to Chris Solari.
I know it was a real minor thing with Aaron, but from a leadership standpoint, I guess what kind of message does that send to him? That you mentioned, especially this stretch in particular, that those captains kind of need to lead from the front. Is that just kind of an evolution for Aaron right now?
Well, let me tell you, and like I said, I'm an open book on most of my stuff, and so what happened was he was right on time for one, but these guys, they get tested. Then they have to have breakfast. And we're constantly switching the times because on days when another team's testing, we change the times and this and that. Now, he knew what time. He was probably 3-4 minutes late. But the one other time, he was right on time. And I just said, I told him the time he was on time, if it happens again, you know, because we feel like, you know, the good old days, your culture was so, you know, rock solid. and I'm saying this tongue in cheek, and I'm saying it as serious as I can. People are so ridiculous out there right now that, you try to discipline somebody for something. So all I'm trying to do, when I told them Cleve sat for half the game, I said, see that banner up there? That guy's my best player maybe that ever played for me. And, he made a mistake, and missed some classes or something. And so, I mean, you got to get back to that. There has to be some discipline and accountability. And our society has zero. And our programs don't allow to have as many because people fear that everybody will transfer if you tell them something. And I love the way Aaron handled it. You know what? He walked into me and I said, hey, Aaron, sorry, can't be in the meeting now. You're late. And he waited for me, came into my office. I already know you're right. Do I think it's a good thing? No, because he's been my best player, my most improved player. He's been the funnest to coach. And maybe that sends a message, but I ain't into sending messages. I'm too far in my career to send messages. I'm just trying to keep a culture that I think has been so good. And there's been better players than Aaron Henry or Rocket Watts that have gone through stuff. And those guys ended up pretty damn good. And so I'm trying to recapture, let's not let the little things get away, because this day and age, nobody cares about the little things except maybe me. And, when you talk to him, I hope they bring him up. When I say it was zero, it was zero. When I say he handled it well, he handled it well. When I say, was I trying to make a point? No, I really wasn't. I'd already warned him. It was just the deal. And yet understand this, these kids are going through. I mean, I laugh when I talk to Lindsay because he kind of knows these kids have gone through something I'm changing stuff every day. Because I'm trying to say, okay, got to be in by 8:30 now because we got classes. So you got to test before at 7:30. Then if I get a weekend and I say, okay, let's go till 10 o'clock. Well, we can't do that because the other team's got to test. And it's a circus. And yet our people have been awesome. And those nurses are phenomenal. And, but, we send out group texts, and you and I know it's a choice whether those players look at them, because that phone, they sleep with it, they eat with it. I think they play basketball with it. I think they all got little things in their pockets that they keep. So there just has to be no excuses. And I'm not even worried about it this much. So I went a long time to talk about it because I know how it gets, the social media, somebody does this. Aaron Henry's been my favorite guy this year, and he will remain that way.
We'll go to Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Tom, I wanted to ask you about Joey. He just talked to us a little bit about some conversations about maybe his form or something, or stuff you guys had pointed out. Just what's it like to see him shoot that way? And was there any conversations about what he could do to improve that?
Yeah, I brought him into my office a couple of times. He's been a little hurt with the knee, but when you're a new guy on the block, that was what's so impressive tonight. Here's Aaron Henry, not having a great game, but it's his kind of year, his team. He's yelling, run this for Joey, run this for Joey. Rocket Watts. That impressed me because that tells me that they know Joey's not only a good player, but he's unselfish. He gave Rock a hell of a pass for a 3. Joey had 5 or 6 assists, or 4 or 5. So I'm really pleased for him because he's trying to fit in, and trying to fit in is not easy. When you come with a team that's got some players back in that, and I think he's done a good job of fitting in, but I really give the Gabes and Rockets and definitely Aaron and Frosty and all those guys a lot of credit because they really wanted to go to him tonight, and it was fun to watch. And he shot it well. Am I surprised? No, he's that kind of shooter. He hasn't shot it well this year, just like Aaron Henry's going to have his moments. But we had a couple meetings just to say, hey, loosen up. He's an intense kid that sometimes lets those things bother him, like all shooters do. Shooters are like pitchers. They're like goalies. They're like field goal kickers. They're all kind of, they get all caught up in things if they go wrong. And I think this was a good lesson for him. I told him today, I was on him hard the last game, and I did it on purpose. I just want to see how he'd handle it. and man, handled it good, and was even had a sore knee today, and I thought played his tail off. And it really impressed me his second half, because he wasn't very good defensively first half either. He was really good second half.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Jana at the State News.
Hi, Tom. We've
Hey,
talked a lot about the depth of this roster and how different guys can come in clutch in different games. How important is that, especially with games that have quick turnarounds like this one?
Well, it's not only the quick turnarounds, but you're right on the money. That really helps in that. But it's also going to help when, unfortunately, something happens and one of our guys get the virus, and so I'm trying to prepare for both. And yet the depth is good. I told you, because we don't have enough guys that have raised above it, but we got a lot of guys that are very good players. And, you're going to see more out of AJ Hogert. You're going to see more out of Julius Marble. I like it. If I can get Markey going a little bit, a little stronger down there, I love my depth. And, it's another game when our bench scoring, we must be averaging 25 to 28 points off the bench. And when those assists, that tells you that we're sharing the ball. The only negative stat for me is very seldom we get beat on second chance points, and we got killed, 15 to 8 or something, or 6. So I think our depth is one of the things that really is going to make us good, and hopefully really good as time goes on. If we can figure out, and it's a little more stressful on me having to, Dwayne Stevens, we're kind of trying to manage the minutes, a little more stressful, but I think it's going to pay great dividends in the end.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Right. We have 2 final questions. We'll start with Kyle and wrap up with going back to Graham.
You've had a couple guys in recent years that can really shoot it from that 4 spot, like Joey. You're just wondering what that does for your offense when you're getting that kind of long range shooting from the 4 spot.
Well, you said a couple, and maybe it is a couple. Jaron was pretty good at it, and then you go back to AJ Granger. I mean, we haven't had many that can shoot it like Joey at 6'9". But what I think is going to be impressive about Joey as it goes, because they're going to start running at him. He's a very, very good passer. So we're going to be able to play through him a little bit more, and that's going to be really beneficial to us because he's a very unselfish kid, almost to a fault. I thought he passed up a couple of shots. I thought Aaron passed up a couple of shots. I thought Rocket passed up 1 shot. He's getting better. I mean, he was so good tonight as far as what he was saying and what he was thinking, that not happy with the game the way it went, but I'm really happy with some of the players because I think they're making steps. It's going to make us a better team. And Joey's one of those guys that I'm expecting those kind of nights from him, to be very honest, because he was efficient, 14 shots, 24 points, 10 rebounds. Like to see a few more offensive rebounds from him and Aaron. And we'll get there as we get a rotation down so guys can feel comfortable where they are.
Tom,
Go ahead, Graham.
obviously, Titus Wright was a load down there for Western Michigan, and so that's a tough matchup for anybody. And what do you want to see from Marcus Bingham in a matchup like that?
Right now, either you're stuttering or I'm not
Okay.
picking it up because it's a what. So
So
maybe you gotta shake your computer if you can hear me. I think what you were asking me though is Titus Wright was a load. What can you do better? What do we double the post? I mean, he's a load until you figure out that Purdue's got a 7'4" guy. He's got arms like an octopus. Iowa's got a 7-footer. Wisconsin's got a 6'11" guy. Illinois' got a 7'1" guy that's, right now that's a weakness for us. We don't have great size. That's why Marty getting him in there some was important. But that's where our guys got to get better at fronting and doing some things that we haven't had a chance, Graham, to work on as much because of the lack of practice time. So I told DJ we're going to have 6:30 practices just for the bigs, and I'm half kidding and half serious. We need more practice time. We were not able to do anything very physical, nothing in the summer, very little in the fall. And I think it reared its ugly head tonight.
What do you want to see from Marcus in that particular matchup, and with a guy who's physical and a little lower than him like that?
Well, I didn't want him to get the ball in where he got it. Markey let him get the ball in so deep. That's what upset DJ. And normally he's blocking some shots, and that guy was good, man. He had that little jump hook. He used his body, had the wide body, Don't underestimate. I mean, in him and White, those two guys could play a lot of places. Some of the other guys, I didn't think Lee played as good as he's been playing, watching him. But we let the ball go in too deep. I didn't think we had quite enough pressure on the ball. I thought they ran their stuff really well and went in on us on purpose. And then we're going to have to look to dig down from our guards a little bit more, because I think he's had like 2 assists in a year, so he doesn't give it up much. But we just didn't have time to go over all that stuff. We had a walkthrough yesterday. That was it. So normally a better, we had 2 things in a row here. We played Detroit. They hadn't played a game with all those new people, and we had no idea what they were going to run. And then we played these guys. They played 1 game of their 4 because they had 3 canceled. And that is difficult for us, who's more of a prep team. I think my assistants do an unbelievable job. I think we're really good at preparation. But if you don't have time for preparation, or you don't have film to watch, I almost feel guilty. My wife said, "What are you doing home?" I got nothing to watch. I'm watching high school AU games to figure out on some of the guys, or I'm watching one that were transferred from somewhere. And I didn't get to watch much of their actual offense other than against Butler. So that makes it a little more difficult. And in fairness to the players, it wasn't like we didn't do our job, meaning the coaches, but there wasn't much time or much job you could do when your sample size is 1 game and they've got 4 or 5 games on you. It makes it difficult.
All right, Coach, that's all the
Got to get
questions.
better at it, Graham. That's for sure. And we'll look at Dublin. We'll look at fronting a little more. We'll look at digging down with our guards. We've got a lot in our arsenal. We just got to get it out there. And so I'd like to say this in closing, if it's okay. I got to sneak over to the football game for a minute, and we got to hang in there with Mel, because he's been through I think of my situation, he's been tough. But I also want to thank all the people out there. The cardboard cutouts and the number of them, and it's starting to fill our arena. I'm hoping that we get some from football too. And we've got one of the nicer arenas right now as far as you look around the country. And I think you got to give credit to our marketing people, but you got to give credit to our fans who have bought these cutouts and make them look a little better. I think we should pay a little more for the cutouts and motorize them so they can yell at those officials. That's the only thing they're not doing a very good job of, but other than that, it's been amazing, the support we've gotten in a different way. So I just want to thank all the people, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to find a way to fill up that bottom. We got a couple of ideas. I'm going to do some things for some of the former people that I've had. By next week, we should have that in, and we're going to have some fun with it at the same time. But thank you to all the people out there who have really helped us or helped football in this incredibly crazy time. I greatly appreciate it. So do our players. And I'll look forward to seeing you. Well, I guess I won't see you at Virginia, but I'll look forward to talking to you after. We're going to have to play better than we did, but it'll be another good game for us, because in Notre Dame, it was a team that could really shoot and played a lot of zone. In Duke, it was a team that really came after you defensively. And I think Virginia is a little bit of both. Yeah, they got upset, but they're usually solid defensively, and they run a very tough offense to guard. And they've got a lot more shooters this year, including Sam Hauser, who's a damn good player. But they've got more shooters this year. Last year, they shot the ball terribly, to be very blunt about it. But this year, and Tony's a hell of a coach. So this is going to be good for us. I just got to figure out how we practice and save some energy. And that'll be my job, playing that late game. But appreciate all of you. Appreciate you guys for doing this Zoom stuff. It's not the same as having us there. And hopefully our players will give you everything they can give you. And thank you. Thank you to our fans for what they've done. Appreciate it.
All right, we have Rocket Watts and Aaron Henry coming up still. All right, we're joined by Rocket. We'll take questions for Rocket in the chat. Hold on a second, Rocket. We'll get you some questions here. First one comes from Chris Solari.
Rocky, you guys got back to moving the ball better tonight, and Coach really specified some of the things that he sees right now. And you said you're fun to coach right now. I guess, what does that mean to you to be fun to coach? And what are you seeing right now that you're able to get back to that ball movement as a team?
It feel real good that coaches say that. I just try to come out and just feed my guys, give them the ball. Because, when everybody else eat, it feel good. So, and that's basically my job. So, I just come in and watch a lot of film, on catches and see the spots that players be open on. So, and that's just my job. And I'm basically feeling like I'm doing great at it right now.
Our next question comes from Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Rocket. How do you balance, a great game you had against University of Detroit and trying not to go too hard on a night like this, but still be able to give your team what they need for the win?
I got a lot of players around me that can play. Joey had a great game. Aaron had a great game. Thomas Keither. So, I just try to come out and just feed them, knowing that I was kind of fatigued in the second half. So, when I feel like that, I feel like I could just push the ball and just find them in these spots and hopefully knock the shot down. So I feel like, I did a great job as moving the ball and finding those guys.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Our next question is from Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Rocket, I wanted to ask you about Joey. He mentioned you getting him the ball, obviously played a role in his night tonight. Is that the kind of shooting that you guys have seen from him throughout preseason and after a little bit of a rough start there in that area for him? I mean,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Joey, a great player. He's fun to play with. He a great leader, and he work on his shot a lot. So when I pass it to him, I feel like he gonna make it, every time I pass it. So, he got great confidence on himself and, it's fun playing with him. So, yeah, I'm just gonna keep, swinging the ball to him and he gonna keep knocking the shot down. Yeah.
Thanks, Rocket. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We'll go to Kyle Austin.
Hey, Rocket, your coach has said the last couple of games that you seem just a lot more in control these last couple of times. Wondering how much you've kind of settled in maybe in these last couple of games at the point guard spot.
Can you repeat that?
So your coach has talked about how much you seem a lot more in control now these last couple of games. Do you feel more comfortable kind of going to that point guard spot now?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just be coming in and meetings with all the coaching staff. They be breaking down film to me, where I should have hit a guy at. So, I just try to come out and do my best and still find shots for myself. And I feel like I'm doing a great job at that, but I still got to continue to come in and watch film and get better.
We'll see if there's anything else for Rocket. All right, we got one final question from.
This obviously, and you mentioned about your legs a little bit and the fatigue. I mean, how tough is that 2 games in 3 days? And do you feel like this stretch right now of so many games in such a short window of time, how much do you think that will help to the postseason? I know you didn't get to really experience it last year, but how much do you think that would help this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna help us a lot, just to get our legs back under us and, just to focus in and, get our minds back on the right track. And yeah, we just gotta, just keep coming in, getting treatment, icing and stuff like that. We can't complain or none because, it's basketball and, this is basically our job. So we just gotta, come in as a team and just continue to get better and, getting treatment and stuff like that. And I feel like, we gonna be on the right track.
From Chris Solari. All right, Rock, that's all we have for you tonight. I appreciate your time, man. And we should have Aaron Henry here shortly. All right, we're joined by Aaron Henry. We'll take questions for Aaron in the chat. All right, our first question comes from Stephen Brooks.
Aaron, could you just sort of explain the situation with the team meeting and your response, obviously, when coach says that you're not going to be starting and everything that happened there?
Yeah, I was a few minutes late to a meeting. It's around here, it's different than the world. We hold people accountable. And that's something that he's been doing since I've been here. I didn't expect anything less. Told me I wasn't starting. It wasn't a big deal at all. No hash out, no anything. It was, I'm cheering the guys from the bench to start the game. That's all it was. And I learned an experience for me and just moved on from it.
Was that yesterday a meeting, I guess, or earlier today? When timeline wise was all that?
Yesterday, I believe. Yes, sir. It was yesterday. Just approximately a minute, 30 seconds behind on the meeting with everything changing. There's no excuse, but like here, we hold people accountable, like I said, and it is what it is. And I'm not tripping. Coach ain't tripping. Like everything is good.
Sure. Thanks, man.
All right, our next question is from Chris Solari.
Aaron, where are you guys at physically right now? There's just a lot of basketball in this shorter window of time, particularly without having the normal summer that you guys are used to. How do you feel physically coming off of 2 games in 3 days?
Feel okay. Nothing that an ice bath won't fix, but outside of that, guys are gonna get tired. It's just we're winners, and when real champions stand up and just decide that it's a mental thing, and we're gonna fight through it. We're gonna compete, whether we're tired or not. We don't have time to be tired in these type of moments, and knowing what the season was gonna bring and all the uncertainty with the pandemic and everything, it's now or never almost, and you gotta be there and be ready.
I kind of asked Rocket this, but he obviously didn't go through a postseason last year as a freshman. How much do you think this kind of a stretch helps? You guys have done that before, but how much does it help come tournament time?
It's the preparation for it. It's not the same thing. It's hard to simulate those same things and teams playing that good at the end of the year like they usually do. But coach is going to put us in the best position possible at the end of the season and prepare us with the schedule that's going to get us ready for that. And he's done a great job of that so far, and we've done a good job of handling it, I feel.
We'll go out to Nick Mantis next.
Aaron, when you think about the night that Joey had, Coach was saying that he was proud in the way that you and Rocket and other guys were trying to go to Joey and make sure that he was getting the shots that he could. What did you see from him that as a senior leader gave you a lot of excitement from his play tonight?
It's always exciting to see one of the guys get going, especially a guy like him, in the position that he's come from and that he's in. And he really shot the ball well tonight, but I was most proud of the defensive possessions he had in the second half that really, pushed our lead out and gave us a better chance of winning the game. It's an accumulation of things that provide to the better play that he's had, but you can count those things on this shot. But I feel like on the defensive end and the rebounding and how many doubles he's had in those type of games and these games too, it's just, he's a hard worker. I mean, we're not worried about his shot, but when he gets that going, he's a lot better.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Jana with State News.
Hi, Aaron. We've talked about the depth in this roster. How much of that did you see tonight, and how important is that with the quick turnarounds for games like this?
Man, it's important. Guys get a chance to play, and we got to rest some guys as well. So, I mean, coach gets to a variety of people to see, what we need to get better at, what we need to do for not just the players that don't play as much in other games, but, everybody got to play today, I feel like, and we all can be evaluated, and that'll be done tomorrow for sure in film.
Thanks.
We'll go to Kyle Austin.
Aaron, just wondering what you saw at a Rocket tonight. It seemed like he was really moving the ball like we haven't seen him this year.
He's all like I say every time I come up here, I feel like he's getting better, man. He's doing a good job of getting people involved, finding himself and picking his spots. That's the most important thing, picking when to go and knowing when in the feel of the game when to get somebody going. He's getting a great increase in this field for the game, and I feel like it's evident on the stat sheet with his assist, and just how we move the ball and how we share it is really key.
See if there's anything else for Aaron. And seeing nothing else, Aaron, we're going to tell you good night. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and that's going to wrap us up tonight. Appreciate everyone hanging with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.